Do you need to sell your house right now? Whatever the reason is, interest rates killing you, need more space, need less space, hate your neighbors, but you need to sell right now? Well, this video is designed specifically for you. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Hussein Kabani. I predominantly work in the Durham region. We cover Toronto. I help my clients buy, sell, and invest in real estate. We also do some leasing. So if you guys need help or want to just talk about what your specific situation is, there is going to be a link to my calendar below. I encourage you guys to click on it, book an appointment, and let's get acquainted. If you have to sell your house in this market right now, where we are approaching almost 20,000 listings for sale. Guess what, guys? At the beginning of the year, we pretty much had half of that. So things were really different. And from September, we had 17,000. And first week of October, we have 19,500, and we're quickly approaching 20,000. So that's a whole different ballgame of how you're gonna sell your house if you need to sell your house. If you watch my videos, I'll tell you that there's two values to get. One value is your house, your property. That's gonna have a value itself. And then I believe that there's emotional value as well. If you could present your house in a really nice way where you could trigger someone's emotions, that overrides their logic in their brain, okay? So I think that there's value add in having a great presentation to your property. So what I'm gonna ask you to do, I'm gonna ask you to possibly paint up some stuff, touch up some stuff, declutter your property, and stage it, okay? So I'll just leave that alone. A lot of people don't like me for constantly hammering that, but that is the truth of the matter, guys. Especially when you have almost 20,000 listings on the market, you're gonna have to stand out. And I hate to say it, some of the listings out there look pretty shitty. So you wanna stand out and you don't wanna be in that category. You wanna try to get that emotional value, okay? So that's number one, what you're gonna have to do if you wanna sell in this market here right now. The second thing is, guys, you're gonna have to price this property correctly. And if your property is worth $1 million, I don't mean price it correctly at $11.50, because you're gonna get crickets. Nothing's gonna happen. People are not looking to get hosed right now, okay? So buyers out there right now are vicious. They wanna get good deals. You have to have a compelling reason for these guys to come in to purchase your property. So you have $1 million property, you price at $11.50, it's not happening. Don't think that someone's just gonna say, oh, I really love this couch, I'm gonna buy this house. Not gonna happen, okay? So forget about it. We're gonna have to price it reasonably. So if your house is worth $1 million and you're like, hey, Hussein, I really wanna try $1,025,000, fine, let's go, let's try it, okay? We could try it, we'll try really hard for it, but the reality is that we're gonna have to be at $999 in order to sell your property. What we find with people that overprice their properties, when we do these price reductions, they're gonna get less. Every single time we've done a price reduction on properties, we're gonna net out less than what we could have got if we priced the property correctly. So we got presentation, we got pricing your property. Another thing about pricing your property, this is what I'm hearing a lot about right now. Well, I actually need to get $1.2 million so I can go and buy this other house for $1.5 million. I got news for you. The market doesn't care. The market doesn't care that you need to move to a $1.5 million house and you need to get 1.2. The market is gonna pay what it's gonna pay. So you're gonna have to adjust your expectations on what's on the other side and even evaluate if it's worth for you to sell your property. If you really need to get this 1.5 and you need to get 1.2 for your property, that's probably not gonna happen. So you gotta evaluate it and gotta be realistic with it. And just a side note, we also hear this about people that have properties to lease from landlords. Well, my interest rate has gone up so much. So instead of, $4,000, we actually need to get $4,800 to cover my interest. It's not how it works, guys. You got to be priced realistically because right now, especially with buyers, they are very price sensitive, especially because of the interest rates. You're going to have to be priced correctly. And if you're not priced correctly, guess what? Your neighbor is. So they're going to be selling. I would also tell you this. We're running into a situation where people do need to sell their house right now. We've had a situation like this already occur. I hope we don't see too many more of these, but it is the reality of the situation right now where people may have overcommitted themselves. Maybe they had lower interest rates. They pushed themselves to get this mortgage and now the interest rates are out of whack. What I will tell you guys is this: if you are behind on your payments or if you feel like you're not going to be able to make your payments, take action now. I know it sucks. It sucks to show off to your friends and family, your neighbors that, hey, I'm going to have to sell this house and whatnot. But at the end of the day, it's about you and your family. So I wouldn't be hesitant, okay? We've had an example where someone has kind of delayed the process. Everything's going to be fine. I could work it out. I could pull here. I could do this. It just doesn't work out. They approach us a little bit too late in the game, okay? and they had a very short amount of time to sell this house before a bank foreclosed on them. We did the best we can, and they were tenant occupied. So we did the best we can in terms of setup. There's not a lot we could do when a tenant occupies it. Just, work with them and have it cleaned up as best as possible, have nice pictures taken, and basically get as many people through as possible. We did that. And we basically ended up with what I would say is a pretty decent offer. If that person had contacted me a month ago, I am sure I could have got them $25,000, $50,000 more for that same property in the same condition, just because I would have been able to reject that offer that came in where it came in. But at that time, it was a good offer. But guess what? That seller still hesitated. They're like, nah, you know what? We actually need to get $10,000 more. My response to him is, you have 17 days before the bank closes on you. You don't have an option at this point right now. And I've never really been that aggressive with somebody, but that's the reality of it when you want to protect somebody when they're in this type of situation. So if you guys feel that you might end up in this situation, I'm not telling you to contact me right away, let's fire sale your house, but I'm saying map it out, do the math, make sure you know where your position is at. And if you really feel like you're not going to be able to do it, I suggest you contact a professional that's actually going to care for you and work out the numbers and figure out what would happen if you sell your house, what would happen if you kept your house, what would happen if you sell your house and you got to move your family somewhere else. Are you going to be able to get back into the market? Are you going to have to go rent? What is the strategy overall? Guys, it's not the end of the world, and I think that things will get better, but you got to be very careful about what you're doing right here and right now. So guys, if you are a seller that needs to sell right now, the best thing you can do is contact me. Until next time, guys, remember one thing, get Cabani, get sold.
Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold. Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold. Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold. Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold.